Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the weekly edit. And I'm hoping that you are all finding a lot of value out of these videos. And I'd really love it if you would reach out to me and tell me if you're enjoying them, if they are helping you at all. And then also, if there are topics that you want me to discuss or to go deeper on, I am open to all of it. So you can send me an email to Antoinette, that's Antoinette, at LLI, that stands for Live Life Inspired, Autism, AUTISM.net. And just let me know, and we can record a copy for you of whatever topic is that you want to talk about. All right, my friends. So I'm Antoinette, and of course, I am a certified life coach for parents of autism. And today we are going to be talking about happiness. And I think that's something that we're all striving for. And not the fluffy Instagram version, but the real version. And not the I'll be happy when version. The kind that feels really real and grounded and earned and peaceful. And this is something I've been thinking about because you cannot copy somebody else's happiness. You can't. And yet we try all the time. We look at somebody else's life. We look at their marriage, their business, their home, their calm energy, and we think, that's what I want. That's what will make me happy. And it makes sense. Of course it does. Because from the outside, it looks like they've got it all figured out. But what we don't see, what we almost never see, especially in the Instagram versions, is everything that came before the version of that life, of their life. So imagine you walk into a movie theater sort of halfway through and you see the main character and they're calm and confident and settled and happy. Actually, it's more towards the end of the movie. You think, oh, I want the version of their life. But you missed the first part of the film. You didn't see the breakdowns. You didn't see the mistakes, the growth, the identity shifts, those uncomfortable decisions that they had to make. You didn't see that who they had to become to hold that life. And that is the part that matters most. Because happiness is not something that you arrive at. It's something that you build your capacity for. And I speak a lot about capacity. It's one of the main things that I teach my one-on-one clients. You build the capacity over time through the way you think, through the way you process your emotions, through the way you choose to show up again and again and again. And this is where I want to bring back to you and your life, especially as a parent navigating autism or special needs, because I see this so often. You look at another parent, maybe someone who seems calm and grounded or on top of things, or someone whose life looks more together than yours. And there's this thought in your head going, why can't I feel like that? Why doesn't my life look like that? Maybe I'm doing something wrong. If you're thinking like that, I want you to just stop because you're not seeing the whole picture. You're seeing the result of years of internal work, not just the external circumstances. That's what is created after they've done the internal work. And the thing is, their happiness is not coming from their life, it is coming from who they've become in the inside. And that means you don't need their life. You need your own. You need your own growth, your own evolution. You get to decide what your version of happy is. Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper because this is where it gets really interesting. Now, most people try to create happiness from the outside in. And it can work to a degree, but it's almost like putting a quick plaster on something. You don't fix the underlying problem. So maybe you think if I fix this situation, if my child behaves differently, if I had more money or more time or more support, I'll feel better. And again, I get it because these are all very real challenges that we're having to deal with. We are all carrying a hell of a lot. But if happiness were truly created from the outside in, then every person, every parent in the perfect circumstances would feel alive and fulfilled. And we know that is not true. What actually creates happiness? It's internal alignment. It's when your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and your life start working together instead of fighting each other. And that doesn't happen overnight. It can, of course, because if you got your mind right and you are thinking right, you can, but generally it just takes a bit of time. So let me show you what I mean. There is a version of you right now who is doing their very best, who is going through all the things that you never imagined that you'd need to go through, and you're doing it. But there's also a future version of you, one who feels more grounded and more spacious and more at peace. And your life, of course, will never be perfect. But if you build that emotional capacity, you can live that future version of yourself. And the most powerful part, the future version of you is being created right now in this moment through small, often invisible work that you're doing. The moments where you stop instead of reacting, the moments that you choose a different thought, the moment where you allow a feeling instead of resisting it, that is the work. That is what creates happiness. And I think sometimes we underestimate this because it doesn't look like all dramatic. It doesn't look like your whole life is overhauled. It looks like a normal, everyday living, but with very subtle changes, a slightly different way of doing something. And over time, those small shifts compound. They build a completely different internal world. It's like if you just changed 1% of your life every day, and then tomorrow you change another percent, and eventually you are going to be building a life completely different to the one that you're living right now. And that's when something extraordinary happens, because then you stop chasing happiness and you actually start experiencing it in the moments, in the ordinary days, in a life that maybe doesn't look the way you once imagined, but it feels so much better than you expected. Now, I want to offer you something to reflect on this week. A question. Are you trying to copy somebody else's life instead of creating your own? And if the answer is yes, even just a little bit, it's okay. It's all right. It means you're human, but it also means there's an opportunity here, an opportunity to come back to yourself and to ask yourself, what do I actually want? What would feel aligned for me and my family? What kind of life do I want to build from the inside out? Your desires are, of course, also going to evolve because what you want today may be completely different to what you want in a year from now. So that is growth. You're always changing. You malleable. You move as the things that you want change. That's the way that you go. And in fact, one of the most powerful things that you can do is allow yourself to change, to update your desires, to release old expectations, to stop forcing yourself into a version of a life that doesn't fit anymore. And this is where your power is. Not controlling the external circumstances, but in becoming that version of you who can meet your life with groundedness and steadiness and clarity and peace. Because when you do that, your life doesn't have to change dramatically for you to feel different. You feel different inside, and that's what changes. So if you take nothing else from today, take this. Happiness is not something that you find. It's something you become available for through who you choose to be. And every small little shift that you make, every moment of awareness, every time you choose to grow instead of just going on autopilot, you are building that. And one day you look around and look at your life and you realize this feels good and I am happy. All right, my loves, that's what I have for you. So if you have not already, please go and join the private Facebook community so we can discuss anything there. You can leave your comments there. We can open discussions, no problem. And I have also opened once off one-on-one coaching slots. So you come to me with maybe one problem or something that you want to discuss or something that you want to unpack or unravel or just get a bit more clarity on. Bring that to me and we can take an hour and just work on that problem. And that's it. That's all you need to do. So the link will be in below, I think. So please click the link and book your session and let's have a chat. All right, my friends, I will see you next week and have a great weekend.